Geeky here with more Longest Journey. It's been quite a while since I recorded. I think about a month, and so I'm feeling a little shaky about it. So forgive me if I'm a little off this episode. That, and I'm still a little bit sick. Just a nasty flu. Just nothing really horrible. Mostly just exhaustion and vague nausea. But it did mean that I was not in any sort of mood or ability to record, which sounds stupid, but it does take a little bit of extra energy to record versus, say, just playing a game, and I did not even have that little bit of extra energy to spare. I either mentioned last time, or I probably should have watched the video, but I wanted to get straight to recording, mentioned that I'd run around, off camera, although maybe I did it on camera last time, I don't remember. Anyways, I did run around and double check and make sure there was nothing I was missing, or specifically that there were no new dialogue options with people before I go into the pulsating portal. Which is kind of disturbing, it's pulsating like that, let me just say. But I did double check, there's nothing else going on. I'm going to now see if I can leave this monkey behind. So anyone who has enjoyed Jetwolf's live vlog of this game can sit there and laugh at the fact that she could have gotten rid of the damn monkey if she had just explored it enough, and I don't remember if you remember the episode, it popped its damn eye out. Don't go that way, we don't want to go near the monkey. Alright, Cortez. Oh, and I'm also feeling a wee bit in a mood. I went Googling where I shouldn't have Googled, but I was hoping... anytime I Google anything about any video game, ever, just like even the most simplest of questions, it's always just such shitty people on the forums answering it, like, they just get up their own ass, and it's always like, it always gets off topic eventually, and it's just people talking about how, well, you shouldn't be playing this game in the first place, or why the game's... It's like, what are you even doing on this? This is a very simple question. Get the fuck off the forum. What is wrong with... Anyway, so I went Googling where I knew better than to Google, and now I'm in a slightly pissy mood, so good luck with that, Cortez. You're lucky you're not dealing with me and you're only dealing with April, because I got no patience for your bullshit today.
Are you ready to step through the looking glass?
Oh, shut up. Sorry. Like I said, I got no patience for any bullshit today, and I think Cortez is a very fascinating character, but I think he's full of a lot of bullshit. In the sense that he is, I personally feel he withholds stuff from April. Like, there's no reason he can't tell her what the fuck is going on here, and instead he's being, oh, I'm so mysterious. Fuck off.
Alright, I'll do it.
Vamos, into the light.
Don't say that, it sounds too ominous. Just tell me what's gonna happen.
You're about to take the first step on the longest journey of your life. But don't worry, I'll be waiting right here.
I must be insane to do this.
Yes, it's pretty much a given.
Oh, and I tweaked the audio again. I know I do it a lot, and it's probably really obnoxious, but I can't find like a good balance with this game. And I think part of the problem is for some reason when I record in this game, my mic ends up coming across like it's very far away from me. It's not. It's like literally like maybe an inch or two away from my mouth. My guess is because this is an older game, the way I'm recording it, which is I'm actually capturing my display versus newer games where you actually capture the game window. Something about that and the way the mic gets recorded then is weird. I don't know. It just ends up coming across really like distant sounding, and I tweaked the audio settings a little bit. Hopefully, I don't think I can change how far away I sound, but I'm hoping that maybe I can make it so I'm a little bit louder. I don't want to be super loud, but I recorded a little bit to test it out again before I started in case anything had happened in the months since I recorded. And I just sounded so, like, quiet compared to the rest of the game. So I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, I almost forgot.
No.
When you're ready to come back,
Whatever.
pay a visit to a friend of mine called Westhouse, Brian Westhouse.
You almost forgot to tell her how the fuck to get home. Yeah, you're a smart one there, jackass. Gotta love these mid-computer graphics. God love them. They tried, though. They really did. Nom 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 nom. Now you're in a worm's tummy. Nom 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 nom. I remember spending a super long time trying to get a good picture of that scene, so I could use it. Now, come on, continuity error. That thing was open behind her in that last scene. But, okay, Cortez, come on. There's no need to be an extra super huge jackass about this. But
Vaya con Dios, child. And may the balance protect you.
But yeah, I remember spending quite a bit of time trying to get a picture of that so I could make my own cover for the Longest Journey CD cases.
Cortez? Cortez!
Cortez! You jackass!
I have a bad feeling about this.
You literally told me fucking nothing!
Wait. What was the name Cortez told me to remember? Westhouse? Brian Westhouse? I think that was it. Cortez said to look him up when I wanted to go home. Well, I want to go home now. He looks like some kind of priest. He looks like some kind of priest.
Oh, quick reminder that it has been proven at least once before that when April is making these comments to herself, she's doing them fucking out loud. And thus the people there can hear her. So this man, who has never met her before in her life, just has her walking up behind him, saying,
He looks like some kind of priest.
"Oh, April, you sweet, sweet, stupid woman. I love you."
Hello? Hi.
Et tu? Emile, tu vas?
I don't understand.
Aku sta kayan paras. Inomalante kandra. Ton maris. Ore tiesiton.
So I'm not gonna really mess around with this because there's nothing really different or interesting to do. Basically, if you do any of these, he just continues to speak his language. What you need to do is listen.
Aku kandi. Good. Niranton al voce. Sank al coda magic. Torante. Salhe. Naven. All tongue.
And again, I mean, I could do any of these, but I don't think there's much purpose to it because it just means we have to start over all the way from the beginning from scratch, and I think that's just a waste of time, so let's just keep it up.
Av orta I beginning, parasintin you. You have thiesa I magic I Sara. I the knowledge. Aritua ya I tue by generations e umani. Knowledge of all tongue. Now you have allowed the magic to enter your heart, and the knowledge of all tongue, ever present but dormant, to guide your ears and your tongue.
I understand you. You speak English? Why didn't you just tell me straight away?
No, child. I do not speak English. I speak Naven, Altung, the common language of Arcadia.
Arcadia? Wait a second. How did I get here? What is this place, and who the hell are you?
Oh, my manners have abandoned me yet again. I'm afraid my preoccupation with ancient texts and the company of my fellow fathers have left me unequipped with the grace of social intercourse.
Meaning what?
That I have been rude. My name, dear child, is Tobias Grensret, and I am the Vestrum of the Sentinel, the Order of the Balance. We are the Fathers.
Okay. I'm April. April Ryan.
I take it this is your first shift, your first passage through the Divide?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I guess this is my first shift.
Then I will explain everything. Someone must. You are without guidance, without a mentor?
Thought someone will explain himself.
Mentor? There's this guy Cortez. He assisted me, told me about magic and truth and dreams and portals. Crazy stuff. Well, it seemed crazy at the time, although now I don't...
Cortez? Ah, yes, Cortez. Very good, very good. Then come, let us proceed. Let me show you Mercuria, the grandest city of all ages.
She should have just said no. Maybe she got some goddamn answers. God knows Cortez is doing a shit job mentoring her, at least at this moment in time. Here, just go through the magic portal. Let me tell you jack shit about fucking anything. Like I said, I warned you guys I'd be a bit salty today. Oh, I think this is so beautiful. And I really appreciate how hard they did. How hard they worked.
Explore Mercuria, April. See the sights, meet the people, and then, when you are ready, return to the temple. I will answer whatever questions you may have then.
I really appreciate the fact that when they were designing this game and they were drawing up backgrounds and stuff, they really went out of their way to try to make sure that Arcadia and Stark are very, very different places visually, let alone anything else. You couldn't see a picture of Stark or Arcadia, or at least the parts of Stark we've seen so far, and mistake them for each other. The very basic architecture is completely different, and I really appreciate that they took the time to do that.
The whole fountain's been carved in one piece from a granite-like material. Very impressive.
I love how I don't think there's much to click on around here. I think maybe, yeah, this and this, and I love how it's one of the few things to click, at least on this screen right here, is of course freaking art, the sculpture, and I love the fact that she's such an art nerd. I love the fact that she's gaga over the fact that it's carved from one piece.
Nice fountain.
You dork, April. I love you.
What the hell kind of animal is that?
Weird-ass animal and gorgeous fountain. Those are the things April notices first out of fucking everything else.
I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen any...
Alright, and I think it's time to move. Okay, oh, I guess you can move to the city or the stalls. I guess let's head to the stalls.
In a world without the screen, that's what passes for entertainment. And it's pretty darn good.
Those look like pants Fiona would like. Just saying.
In a world without the My intuition tells me
Maps!
that he sells maps.
Good intuition you got there, April.
It's the maps merchant. It's the map.
Maps, I got maps. Can I interest you in a map, miss? Top-notch, hand-drawn in quality ink by skilled sunwriters. Ain't no better in all the Northlands.
Oh, I know I know I've been salty so far, but I can't even begin to tell you how happy this game makes me. And I'm really glad I picked this one to come back to, because I'm in a much better mood now.
How much are your maps?
That depends, miss. I got a very nice one here of the border mountains for only 6. Aaron's fresh from the quill of a sunrider. Maps, get your maps here.
Do you sell maps of the city?
Can't help you there, miss. The Guild of Tourism has monopoly on city maps. I can tell you're not from around here, or you'd know that. Got tons of maps of all the Northlands, though, from the city of Tyron to the Bay of Fire. Maps!
I mean, there's also the fact that I asked you for a map of the city. That might also give you a big hint that, maybe I'm not from around here.
Where can I find the Guild of Tourism?
They're closed for the holidays.
Sure, that makes sense. Mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
Yes, maps!
Do you know Vestrum Tobias?
Everyone knows Vestrum Tobias, girl. He's been an important part of this city for as long as I can remember.
What can you tell me about him?
The Vestrum is an honorable man, but a conservative one, and I don't know if he still has the best interests of the people at heart. Sometimes I think he worries too much about custom. The Sentinel have been our so-called protectors and keepers of the balance for so long we don't even think of it anymore. But now that the Vanguard are introducing a new way of thinking, new philosophies, I'm afraid the Sentinel will find their power diminished before too long. Their resistance to change will be their downfall. Mark my words, their downfall for certain. And Tobias, honorable man that he is, will be remembered as the captain who went down with his ship.
So once Tobias left, there were 2 things I could have done. I could have gone into the city to explore, which is what I'm doing, or I could have gone in and talked to Tobias. And it doesn't seem to me like there's a good way to do either in the correct order, because when I was testing out my audio before, I went immediately back in and talked to Tobias. And there was this implication that April had gone out and explored into the city, and so it felt kind of weird, like the way they were talking. So I decided when I was doing the actual playthrough of it, that I was going to go out in the city first. But if you're not familiar with this game, I don't know how much of that just made sense to you. I will try to remember to bring it back up once we go talk to Tobias, because Tobias basically explains all that in just a few minutes. Once we get there, but I hope it wasn't too confusing. I will try to remember to go back and reread that part of the conversation, or kind of summarize it once you guys actually know what any of that fucking means. So yeah, sorry if that's confusing. I'm really not sure the best way to do that, because neither one makes the best sense story-wise, so again, sorry if that was confusing.
How do you get along with your neighbors?
The Cup's handler? Stay away from him, miss. He takes great joy in robbing people's purses. You can't beat him, not without magic, and he doesn't allow magic at his table.
How would he know if I did use magic?
Oh, he's got one of those blasted talismans. They're always digging up magical artifacts in Shagagriel, and they sell them to dogs like him for a silver coin or 2. Get a proper job, you son of a mole!
What do you know about Stark?
Land of wonders, strange customs, and machinery. Ah, to be in Stark.
Grass is always
I
greener.
give my right leg. Well, perhaps not my right leg as such. You really need two sturdy legs to stand on in this business, or you'll find yourself... yes, a grand place indeed, free of this blasted, chaotic, unpredictable magic. Does no good to anyone. Now, machines built by man, controlled by man, in servitude of man. That's the future, isn't it? Yes, the Vanguard may be a little unorthodox in their methods and teachings, but they're right about one thing. Stark and Arcadia belong together, not apart.
I do like the fact that there's this that they're going with this grass is greener on the other side. You know, people hear about this world of science and they think, oh, that sounds so much better than magic. And meanwhile, people in Stark are like, oh, magic sounds wonderful. And I like the fact that, you know, this game doesn't try to sell magic as this amazing thing that fixes all your problems or makes people completely content with their life. It has its own issues, just in a different way than Stark does, than science technology do.
What's Arcadia like?
What can I say about a whole world, girl? It's a beautiful place for sure, but we're stuck in the past. We don't look ahead, not like our cousins in Stark.
Oh boy, you don't know our
Magic
world.
is all well and good, but it won't bring our world into the modern age, and Arcadia is untamed. It's wild and unpredictable. Good for the map business, sure, but not so good for productivity and expansion. No, some people may consider our world a paradise. The Sentinel, for one, they'd prefer to keep it just the way it is. Me, I'd like to see some changes, and fast.
Thanks for your help.
Maps!
No maps for me today, thanks.
Fair enough, miss, but don't expect me to come running to your aid if you ever get lost in Riverwood. Without my maps, you'll probably end up a mole's dinner or worse. Maps!
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up, because I really want to get to Vestrum Tobias' stuff, and you're about to hear a lot of talking from Vestrum Tobias. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up here, and then we'll head to Vestrum Tobias instead of going out further into the city, because I am 99% sure that it's not going to mess anything up, and I can go into the city and explore later on, after I've talked to Tobias.
Wonder if that's supposed to be anybody in particular, or just any old head. Wonder if that's supposed to be anybody in particular, or just any old head. It's a game of some kind. It's a game of some kind.
Oh.
What a sorry-looking bird.
Hey, you don't look too polished yourself, lady.
Oops, I didn't know you could talk.
Didn't look as if you could talk either.
Oh, you're so charming.
It's a talking bird.
Let's talk to the cup handler.
That's a particularly sleazy-looking merchant. I wonder what he's selling. That's a particular...
Want to test your skill and perception with a game of cups? There are prizes to be won!
Oh, I talk about the voice acting in this a lot because I really like it. I think it's really exceptional. But I think he's just got, whoever did the voice for him is perfect. He sounds like a sleazy merchant trying to sell his wares. I mean, come on.
Mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
Time is money, so make it quick.
What do you know about Vestrum Tobias?
Vestrum Tobias, eh? The High Priest of the Sentinel himself. Did you know they call themselves the Fathers? It's a joke. When was the last time they did anything for us, the people? No. They are only interested in sticking with their outdated customs and keeping their secrets under lock. I'm getting more and more inclined to listen to these new people. the Vanguard. Their ideas appeal to me. They may be radical, but we're past due for a change. Only thing I don't wholly approve of is their alliance with the Tyrant. Filthy, dangerous people. But the Vanguard seem to have them under control, so I'm not too worried. I wish they wouldn't allow them into the city, though.
Wow, you are just a wholly pleasant person. I totally don't want to fucking kick you in the balls.
How do you get along with your neighbor?
The maps merchant? We've faced each other for 6 years now, every single day, and he never speaks a word to me except to insult me. Nose high in the sky, calls me a charlatan, as if he's the Guardian himself. You no good oversized bag of wind?
Do you know anything about Stark?
Not much. I'm not too sure if I even believe in the place. I mean, you hear the stories and you read the books. Well, I don't, but some do. A place where there's no magic, only science? Sounds like a bloody paradise, doesn't it? I mean, with my, skills, I could make a killing in a place like that.
I don't think you'd do too well. You'd be surprised. Or maybe you would. I don't know. Some people... I mean, I see cup games on the freaking L here in Chicago. So, I mean, I assume people wouldn't do them if they didn't actually make money off of them. So, I mean, I guess there's still a viable mode of making at least a little bit of cash.
What's Arcadia like?
What a queer question that is. What's the world like? It's big, for one, and too expensive. And they should ban Dalmari women from gambling because I swear, they have a second sight.
Thanks.
Now, how about a game of cups?
How do I play?
You put your coin down on the table. I put a cup on top of it and shuffle it around with the other 2 cups. And all you have to do is guess which one hides your coin. And remember, no magic used and none allowed. This amulet right here will light up if you use magic. Then you'll be banned. For life!
Okay, let's go.
Just place your bet, investment, on the table and the game will begin.
I'll just call it a bet. We all know that's what it is. What do we got? I guess the gold ring.
Is that gold? Only valid Arcadian coin in iron and other precious metals allowed at my table, young lady. Take your worthless gold elsewhere.
Gold? Worthless? Now I have heard everything.
Oh my god, you could make such a killing by just running back and forth between Stark and Arcadia with various precious metals. I don't know, do you want some candy? No. Do I have to...
How about a game of...
Okay.
Just place...
Anything else I can bet? Nope. Oh. I figured out how to scroll through that, by the way. Alright, let's go talk to Tobias, and then I think it'll be about time to end the episode. Tobias! I got me some questions.
Excuse me, Vestrum Tobias?
Maybe you'll answer them more than Cortez
Tobias,
does.
just call me Tobias, please. I require no ceremony from a distinguished guest such as yourself. Did you enjoy the sights?
I don't know. I'm overwhelmed. Walking around out there, seeing with my own 2 eyes things that can't possibly exist. I kept thinking, it's all a dream. I'll wake up at any moment now and everything will return to normal. But then I realized, I'm still here. It's real. I can touch it. I can smell it. And you know what? It doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense here. Magic, alien creatures, parallel worlds. I don't believe in those things. I don't believe in fairy tales.
In your world, in Stark, there is no room for magic. That is, and always has been, the curse of science, the fallibility of logic and order. They leave no room for the imagination. If it does not fit into the narrow perception of the laws of nature that your world adheres to, it's a fairy tale. But then, magic has its downsides too. It's unpredictable. It invites chaos. It puts the balance in peril in a way that science alone never could.
I keep hearing about the balance, and about Stark, and Arcadia, and... This is probably gonna sound strange to you, but I'm clueless. I have no idea what this place is, or what I'm doing here, or... All I know is that something strange is happening in my world, I guess.
Cortez isn't telling me
I
jack
had
shit.
dreams, and the dreams felt so real, and then things started happening in real life too. Things that couldn't happen, and
I think I will begin at the very beginning. I believe that is why you were sent here, to learn, to understand, to see for yourself. Like you said, you cannot believe in this place. Well, you will. After you have learned the truth, you will. Come with me, and I will tell you the story of Earth as your books never have. And when your eyes and ears are open to the truth, perhaps your mind will follow. We can only hope. Come.
I mean, I guess, okay. Guess you're gonna give me more answers than Cortez does, at least.
This is the true story of the balance, as observed by the Sentinel, the Order of the Balance, the Fathers. The Sentinel Minstrom committed this story to the pages of the scriptures and to these temple walls thousands of years ago, so that coming generations could learn and understand their past and their future. The wall paintings we are looking at became known as the murals of the balance, and it is through these images that I will recount our common history to you, April Ryan. The story begins and ends here, with this mural. Ages ago, and in ages to come, the Earth was one, and magic and science existed side by side in nature and in all people. There was balance, and there was harmony.
you're saying there was just one world then?
One world, one Earth. Magic and science in balance with each other, within each and every living creature. The power to make the stars dance and to create life itself was within our grasp. But then, humankind began to exploit this divine power of two, and they saw fit to use it for their own selfish purposes.
Yeah, sounds
The
about
balance
right.
of the cosmos was in peril.
Yep, that's us. We're kind of shitty. Humans are kind of shitty like that.
Unless something was done, unless man was humbled and learned to fear the power he wrought over cosmos, the twilight of chaos would fall upon
I'm not
Earth.
sure he wants to fear it either. We're not
It
good
had
with
happened
fear.
before, in distant times and on distant worlds, and it would happen again. And every man, woman, and child of every people and every race would be devoured by the coming apocalypse.
Sucks to be
We were
us.
given a visitation then. The Drag Kin, having lived among us for untold generations, rose to offer their guidance and assistance in preserving the balance on our world.
I love that Drakekin. I think it's such a genius way to, like, kind of rewrite things, but still make it sound familiar.
The Drag? I think I've heard that name before.
Drag Kin, Draken, Dragons, whichever name they go by, they remain the eternal servants and custodians of the balance. There were 4 of them here on Earth, and of the 4, one who would found the Order of the Balance, the Sentinel. The first Minstrom were instructed that magic and science would have to be separated before the balance collapsed and brought untold disaster. Earth would have to be split in 2 equal parts. Arcadia and Stark, magic and science, chaos and order. The first Sentinel were counted 13, 6 scientists, 6 magicians, and one who was between, the Drag Kin, our mentor, our custodian, our learned guide. Both magic and science were needed to perform this most difficult of tasks. To split a world in two, to create two worlds from one.
Wasn't the use of that kind of power dangerous to the balance?
Yes, and so for this purpose, they built a tower to channel their powers and focus them on the divide that they would create. The kin had brought a disc with them, a disc forged in the fire of their world. Placed at the base of the tower, and the epicenter of the divide, the disc and the tower would become one, a conduit for the flow of magic and science. At the appointed hour, the 13 came to the tower, and with them a woman, whose destiny was decided by the purpose to which she had been born. She would be the first guardian, the human protector of the balance, who would stay in the tower for 1,000 years to watch over the two worlds, and to ensure that the flows of magic and science were always equal. And so the ritual began.
I mean, honestly, it sounds kinda like a shitty job. Hope you pay well.
One world was to become two, separated by the balance, and each world visible to the other only by way of dreams. Who was ushered into which world was not an arbitrary choice, nor one taken lightly. For the magical creatures, the choice was simple. They had to go to Arcadia. Their kind would not survive in Stark. But for others, families were torn apart, lovers separated, and friends lost for all eternity. Encircled by the 12 and the one who would be guardian, the disk at the base of the tower began to spin faster and faster as more and more power flowed through it, until it was a blur. Darkness enveloped the tower, but the disk glowed brighter and brighter. Reality turned, and in one moment, a new reality had been created and two new worlds born. In the tower there was silence. The original disk had disappeared, and in its place was a smaller counterpart, a similar yet different disk. Around and outside the tower, the world looked different. They were now between Stark and Arcadia, between reality and dream. This was the realm of the balance and of the Guardian, and it would be her home for the next 1,000 years. The one who was kin picked up the disk and said, "This disk is a counterpart to the original disk, which has now become this realm, and the key to which has been split and divided in 4. The key is the disk, and the disk is this realm." This mystified the 12, and the one who was kin continued, "Know only this. The Guardian's realm cannot be broken unless the disk is broken. But nor can it be repaired without the disk being repaired. The 4 pieces, that is the key, will be given to the 6 of you who are to be taken to Arcadia for safekeeping. Yet the key will never be complete," he went on, "without the precious stones that adorn each piece. I will keep 1, and my fellow kin the 3 others. Should the day come when this realm must be repaired, or the worlds reunited, and that day will come, you will assemble the disk, and the kin will come together one last time."
Sounds complicated,
With that,
but okay.
6 of the 13 went to Arcadia, and 6 to Stark, and the one who would be guardian ascended to the throne. Witness the mural, where her dreams and hopes, her very soul, were locked away in the disk. In service of the balance, these traits were nothing but barriers. Through new eyes, the imbalance between the worlds was as clear as the stars themselves to the Guardian. And with one thought,
Hi,
she channeled
Hi,
chaos
sweetie.
from Arcadia and logic from Stark into the disk, and redistributed the power wherever it was needed. A new era had begun. The era of the Guardian.
Sorry, my daughter's up.
After they left the tower, 2 of the Drakkin went to Stark, the other 2 to Arcadia. The 6 who came to each world started what is now known as the Sentinel, the Order of the Balance. But while in Arcadia the Sentinel thrived, in Stark they did not. In Stark, the memories of magic and the balance could not survive in the face of the new reality of natural laws, of logic, and of science. And soon, very soon, Arcadia became nothing more than legend, a myth, tales of fairies to recount to impressionable children, and stories to frighten and entertain around a fire. And while dreams still brought sights and sounds of Arcadia to those asleep in Stark, they were discounted as mere dreams and nothing more.
So that's it? We forgot about our past and about Arcadia? And that's the way things are? Then what's wrong with that? And why does magic from Arcadia seem to have begun leaking through to Stark?
That is another long story. But I can tell that you are tired of stories, and so I shall be brief.
Oh, thank fuck.
As I told you, while in Arcadia, the Sentinel grew in numbers and in strength. In Stark, while flourishing for a brief time, they were soon diminished and powerless. Some of the Stark Sentinel did not take kindly to this, and they berated the Arcadian Sentinel for their politics and teachings. The Stark Sentinel wanted people to work towards reunification, while their brothers did not. So the inevitable soon came to pass, and the Stark Sentinel parted ways with their Arcadian brothers, and named themselves the Vanguard. And while at first their philosophy was not so different from ours,
Hi, sweetie.
over the years it changed radically. The Vanguard wanted the divide torn down, the worlds reunited, and the return to what they called the Glorious Ages,
Hi,
when
honey.
humankind could control the forces of cosmos. But first they needed their own servant in charge of the balance, their own guardian.
Hi.
Now, every 1,000
you give Mommy
years,
just
a
a minute?
new guardian took the place of the old one, because no one can be separated from their souls for any longer than 1,000
Oh, you got
years.
some fish?
Every 1,000 years, a new guardian was born. The balance provided the seed from which a new fruit grew. But now, it has been 200 years since the previous guardian, the 12th guardian, was to be replaced. Every new child born to the balance has been taken away by the Vanguard to be studied in an attempt to control them. In every instance so far, they have failed. But the 12th guardian could wait no longer. Only a short time ago, the disk in the tower shattered, and the guardian left his throne.
Oh, yeah?
The balance is now untended, and we have yet to find a new guardian. Unless we do so, the Vanguard may get their chance. And they may be able to place their own puppet on the throne, to rule the balance according to their principles. And this we cannot allow. It will mean the end of Stark and Arcadia, and the dawn of an era of chaos. Now do you see?
I understand the history. I can even accept it. But I don't understand why I'm here and what Cortez wants with me.
Oh, yeah?
The balance is in peril, April. The Guardian has abandoned his tower. He has disappeared, and there is no one to take his place. He must be reinstated to protect the balance until a new Guardian may be found.
And what can I do? I'm nobody. I've just been having a lot of bad dreams.
You are a strong shifter. I have not seen your like in my lifetime.
A shifter?
Someone capable of opening doors between worlds. A shift. A portal between the realms of Stark and Arcadia.
Okay, let's wrap it up, Tobias.
Are you kidding? I didn't do anything. Cortez was the one who opened the shift, and he just waved his hands around in the air. I don't think I'd be capable of opening a portal even if I had a magic wand.
Only a shifter's own power can allow her to travel. No one else can do this for her. Cortez only channeled your power to aid you. He would not be able to step through this shift himself.
He could have explained this. but
Even
he
if
didn't.
that's true, I don't have any control over my talent.
Not yet. But in time you will. How else do you intend to travel back to your world?
God, I hadn't even thought about that yet. Can't you help me?
I'm afraid not. Even if I could shift, I would not be able to channel through you like Cortez did.
So, I'm on my own?
If you have any questions, I will do my best to answer them. But aside from that, yes. Yes, you are.
That's so not cool.
No, it has been unseasonably warm. If you don't mind, I will return to my studies now. Thank you for listening to an old man and his long stories.
No, thank you. It's starting to make a little bit of sense now.
That is good news. Come see me again if you have any more questions.
So sorry for the interruptions of my daughter. I thought I would be done by the time her nap was over. But unfortunately, Tobias talks way longer than I give him credit for and would not shut up. So we're gonna have to end here because she's currently waiting for me to get her a snack and she's smiling at me like a cutie pie. What are you doing? Hi! I see you. I see you. Sorry. Okay, so that's gonna be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope neither Mars nor I were too loud when I was saying hi to her and she was saying hi to me. Special guest appearance by Mars, I guess. Anyway, so I hope you guys had fun, and I'm excited to get back to this, and I hope you guys are excited to have me back. And I will see you next time. Bye.